Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to see is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent. This is the city, one just like any other you can find across the great state of Texas, full of hardworking, God-fearing, and largely law-abiding citizens, just like this one, or this one. The year was 2021. It was January and a bitterly frigid one at that. Temperatures statewide were dropping like hot potatoes and the good citizenry scrambled to brace themselves for what was to come. A lovely middle-aged woman who we'll call Mom came home after an enduring shift at the local hospital to a horrific scene. Light fixtures dangling, drywall sagging, cabinet doors ajar with pots and pans floating in the lake that once was a kitchen, initially thinking the local riffraff had ransacked the place until she was hit with the overwhelming stench of mold. Mom's plumbing was no match for Old Man Winter. So tragic. If only this could have been avoided. Meanwhile, a few hours south of the Lone Star State, a strapping young buck who we'll call Justin receives a parcel, a review unit from Eve Systems, Eve WaterGuard, a smart water leak detector. Could this have prevented the catastrophe that Mom experienced, he thought? If only it were that simple. You see, Eve WaterGuard is exclusive to Apple HomeKit.
Well, that's great, Mr. Viernes. Mom has an iPhone.
Well, you see, Justin, if Mom doesn't have a home hub like an Apple TV or a HomePod, she'll only receive water leak notifications when she's within Bluetooth range of the Eve WaterGuard.
Okay, Mr. Viernes, but what about Thread?
Oh, Justin, stay in school. You see, Thread requires a border router like a HomePod Mini, and unfortunately, Mom's smart home platform of choice is Alexa. Excuse me, Alexa. Dagnabbit, I mean Amazon Alexa. Forget it.
Well, ain't that a bite?
Oh, there, Justin. It's not all bad, you see. Eve is committed to supporting Matter, which will supposedly make all smart home platforms play nice with each other. But unfortunately, we still don't know when Matter will be the Matter.
So, Mr. Viernes, are you saying that Mom should wait for Matter or look into other solutions to notify her of potential water damage?
Of course not, Justin. Wow, were you dropped on your head as a baby? What I'm saying is that Mom should trash all of that Alexa junk and buy HomePods and Apple TVs instead.
Oh. Okay, Mr. Viernes. Well, can you tell me more about the Eve WaterGuard?
Alright, let's break this thing down. Eve WaterGuard is an indoor water leak detector with a 2-meter water leak detection cable, which is extendable up to 150 meters, allowing you to cover just about any size space. In the event of a leak, you'll know about it via the 100 decibel alarm built into the device itself, as well as the flashing red LED. You'll also receive a push notification on your device, as this does support Thread and Bluetooth. Also bear in mind that Eve WaterGuard uses mains power, so you'll want an outlet nearby, and its operating temperature is between -18 and 55 degrees Celsius. Now, to get Eve WaterGuard set up, the process is super simple. First, you'll want to plug it into an outlet and connect the leak detection cable. Then you'll jump into Eve's app, you'll choose the settings tab, you'll choose add accessory, scan the QR code, put it in a room, give it a name, and Bob's your uncle. Now, if you've decided to go the Thread route, and you should, you'll notice that Eve WaterGuard shows up as a Thread router. This means that it can expand and strengthen your Thread network and helps to pass along messages from end nodes like the Eve Weather along to your Thread border router. Now, if you don't have a Thread border router, you can of course use Eve WaterGuard over Bluetooth, but just don't do that. There are a couple of other water leak sensors in the HomeKit space, but only Eve WaterGuard allows you to essentially set up a perimeter. This is great for places like basements or laundry rooms or mechanical rooms, but it can also be really useful to encircle a potentially troublesome apparatus like a washing machine, water heater, or even a sink. All of the water leak sensors in HomeKit will send you a push notification letting you know that you need to investigate, but the local alerts is where they really start to differ. Eve WaterGuard's 100 decibel siren is ridiculously loud and in the very best way. The Favaro flood sensor's siren just seems meek and mild in comparison, and though the Acura systems do have comparable decibel levels, it's nice to have an all-in-one package. Admittedly, the hardware is pretty impressive with the detection cable, the 100 decibel siren, and the LED warning light, but in the event of a minor mishap or false alarm, how do you disarm it? There's no physical button, so you have to go into the app in order to do so, and that's the last thing you want to do when you have a blaring siren coming at you. So I would like to see a physical disarm button in future iterations. Though it can potentially save you thousands in water damage and it is a very high quality device, the price of Eve WaterGuard can be a little hard to swallow for some. The base unit comes in at between $100 and $120 in the US at the time of recording, and that's just with the included 2-meter detection cable. Also, if you plan to use Thread, you'll have the added expense of the Thread border router. As far as accessibility goes, there's not a whole lot to talk about with this device. It's a small white box that fits in the palm of your hand and plugs directly into the wall. The water detection cable plugs into the bottom of the device using a 3.5mm jack, and the extensions connect in a very similar fashion.
Eve WaterGuard 6E3.
I'm very happy to report that the software experience with Eve WaterGuard is absolutely flawless. All of the buttons are labeled and everything is very easily navigable using VoiceOver. Eve has obviously made a commitment to making their app as accessible as possible. How do I know this?
More info button, accessibility label, button, automation, more info button, accessibility label, button, automation, more info button, accessibility label, button.
Eve WaterGuard is a super snappy and far-reaching water leak sensor, which is exactly what you want in such a device. Eve also has a rock-solid reputation when it comes to providing high-quality software and hardware experiences, and the Eve WaterGuard lives up to this. So could it have saved Mom's poor kitchen from those burst pipes? Well, maybe. It would have at least given her enough time to turn off the water mains. But again, she would have needed to be using an entirely different smart home platform, which she should. So I can't really recommend Eve WaterGuard if you're not in the HomeKit ecosystem. Eve is committed to supporting Matter, but who knows when that's going to come out and how it's actually going to be rolled out. And I definitely can't recommend buying a product based on future promises. But I want to hear from you. What have your experiences been like with Eve WaterGuard? What questions do you have about it? Let me know in the comments section down below. Also, if you made it this far and you got something useful out of the video, go ahead and hit that like button, and while you're down there, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any of our new HomeKit videos as soon as they're released. Now, if you're interested in some other HomeKit water leak sensors, you can check out one of these videos here, and I'll see you over there.